What is the answer to global warming? Lots of people have their ideas, but what is really the best solution to the problem? Well, today I'm going to show you a global warming blog. It's called Our Global Warming Blog, and this is a blog that I created. And in particular, I want to show you this diagram. Now, this is the godfather of all global warming diagrams. That's what I call it anyway. And it's a greenhouse gas emission flowchart which shows different sources of energy use and how much gas they produce on the right hand side here. Now, when considering any solution to global warming, this diagram really is the key to it all, and I'm going to show you exactly how energy efficiency is the most powerful weapon against global warming, because for each of these different energy uses, it's actually possible to dramatically cut down the amount of energy that we need in order to sustain the way we live. So basically, here at the top, transportation, 13.5%, and as you can see here, some of it's road, some of it's air, and some of it's rail, ship or other. Now, very interestingly, about 90% of the energy when we drive our cars, 90% of that petrol that we put in the car actually isn't being put to good use, because when you consider probably an average car weighs maybe 700 kilos, and say the average person would weigh only 70 kilos, you can see that the car weighs roughly about 10 times the weight of the passenger. So the petrol that you put in your car is actually being used to accelerate the mass of the car primarily, and not actually accelerating the mass of the passenger, which is the whole point of a car. So if we were to have cars that weighed, just a quarter of the weight, we would dramatically reduce that, and I think it's actually possible to create very lightweight cars which would use a fraction of the petrol and therefore considerably cut down this transportation section. Now, electricity and heat, this is all for different sorts of uses, and it's not just at the home, it's also for commercial buildings and other manufacturing processes that need that energy put into them. So you can see here aluminium, machinery, so smelting of metals, running machinery, all the things that are necessary to produce the products that we use on a day-to-day basis. So there's lots of different elements to this heat and electric section. Now, I know, for example, with space heating, I think our current stock of buildings are absolutely horrific in terms of energy efficiency. There's a lot that can be done to improve the insulation of walls and windows and roofing. There really is a lot of potential to be had in this section. So going down the list, I'm just having a scan. I'm thinking on my feet here. Okay, let's go down here. This is a biggie. Land use change. Primarily it's deforestation, it seems here. And deforestation, as far as I can remember, I think that's basically to allow livestock to graze, and they also deforest for growing palm oil, I believe. So basically this is pointing to one very big factor, which is that a meat-rich diet is actually very carbon intensive, and I believe that it's about 50 times more carbon emissions are associated with meat than the equivalent vegetarian diet, and that's simply because the amount of vegetation that you have to feed livestock is so much greater than if you were to actually eat the vegetation yourself. And this links into another section here, which is the methane that's generated from livestock and manure. Down at the bottom, 3.6% is waste. I think that can be dramatically reduced by stopping so much waste going to landfills. That means reducing packaging of the supermarket products, and also just reusing our waste. I've just started using a compost bin, and it's remarkable how much food that you can actually put into the compost and use it for gardening, and that can dramatically reduce the amount of waste, which produces methane, which is a very potent greenhouse gas. I think it's about 20 times more potent than carbon dioxide. So there's a huge amount that we can be doing just simply with energy efficiency. And I think this diagram can be squashed down into something very manageable, but this is the first step. This is the very first step. Before anything else is put into the equation, energy efficiency has to be the easiest way of reducing carbon emissions and stopping global warming. Okay, I hope you have learned something from this, and I hope it hasn't been too boring, but I think it's very important to talk about these kind of things. If you've got any comments, if I've made any mistakes, or if you can add anything to this, please add a comment, or visit my blog. It's ourglobalwarmingblog.com, and I look forward to seeing you in there. Okay, see ya, bye.